Hey guys, how are you doing? It's Catherine and we are flying through the new year. Can you believe it? It is February. I was like, 1 minute, it's Christmas, and then we're in February. I'm not quite sure what happened, but we have got an awesome freebie goodie for you. It is the Tangezine issue number 4, which is the Spring Romance edition, and it is huge. It has so much, especially if you get the bonus edition. So let's take a look at the Tangezine, this month's Tangezine, see what it's all about. I'm going to talk through what's in the free version and also what is in the bonus version. So this is the first page. I love it. I think it's such a pretty picture. I love this front page. Created it in Midjourney, so there's a lot of Midjourney goodies in the Tangezine. I am a huge fan of Midjourney. I know a lot of people are making pictures with DALL-E and all the other tools, but in my opinion, still nothing beats Midjourney. And since they brought in the version 6, I am in love. I absolutely love version 6 of Midjourney. A lot of the pictures, you can't tell that they're not photographs. I'm just looking at them like, wow, awesome. Anyway, so let's take a look through the Tangezine. So there's the front cover. We have some important links on the first page, so you can scan through those. There's links to our Midjourney groups. Do please come and join us if you're not in those groups. Lots of chat. I try and keep posting different content, different topics. We have an AI group and a KDP group. There's a link to Tangent Templates, and of course, Tangent Templates is our product for creating low content books on KDP. It is a huge product. These are the basic templates that you can use for your books, but there is also our crazy designer tool, which I'm going to actually be talking a little bit more about as we look through the Tangezine, because there are templates included in the Tangezine for tangent templates, so that's in there too. There's a link to Imagine, and Imagine is our colouring book course, which is absolutely incredible. A lot of people taking this course in the group. It shows you how to make beautiful, beautiful images for your colouring books. It includes our crystal software, which turns your colouring books, it takes all of the grey out of them and turns them into black and white vectors that look fantastic. So with Midjourney, what I love about Midjourney, a few things. Midjourney lets you create beautiful pictures, and it lets you create lots of them. You can literally generate dozens and dozens of pictures with one prompt, which is absolutely amazing. And you can create variations of pictures with one prompt. So you can prompt for dozens of pictures and you will get them within minutes, which is pretty fabulous. So Imagine teaches you all about Midjourney and how to make colouring books with it. There's also a link to my YouTube, which if you're watching this video, you are watching it right now. There's my Gumroad, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then, of course, there's an email address if you want to get in contact with us. So then there's a welcome letter here, tells you a little bit about the magazine. And I do like that picture. There's a nice picture of Isaac and me at the Getty Museum a few weeks ago. And actually, it was fabulous. We saw two things that were really, really cool. There was an exhibit about William Blake, which was really eye-opening. I mean, growing up in the UK, you kind of hear quite a lot about William Blake, but I'd never got so deep into the type of things he was doing, and I thought it was fabulous. And also, there was an exhibit about medieval graphic design, which was so up our street. There were pictures of illuminated books, and it was just hilarious because Isaac was just studying these books from like 1400 and being like, they should have left a little bit more gutter space. If you know Isaac, if he's helped you with your book designs, you will probably know what I'm talking about. But I found that very, very funny. So that was our little trip, which was lovely. So then on the next page, there's the contents. And as you can see, there is quite a lot in the magazine. So before I really start going through the contents of the magazine, let's take a look at how you get it and what is included. So if you go to my Gumroad page, which is catherine.gumroad.com, you will see here that there are two versions of the Tangezine. And the first one here, you can see it says 0. This is the free magazine. So if you click on that, it shows you what you get. You get the magazine here. On this side, you can see some samples of some of the pages that are in the magazine itself. And then on this side, these are actually templates that are included with the magazine in a TT file. And that TT file can actually be imported into Tangent templates, and you can edit the templates and turn them into interiors for your books, use them in your printables that you're creating for Etsy, for Teachers Pay Teachers, or any other platform that you would like to sell on. So these are also included in the free edition of the magazine. So you get the magazine and the TT file with editable Tangent templates that you can use. Now, let's go back and take a look at the bonus edition. So the bonus edition includes the magazine, of course, and all the templates, and it includes a whole bunch more. So it's $20 for the bonus edition of the magazine, and that includes 3 huge freebies. So the first freebie that is included is a prompt guide on the topic of dark academia. Now, dark academia is an aesthetic, a niche, like think Harry Potter. That was probably one of the things that started the whole concept of dark academia. It's a theme that's really, really popular in manga and anime. It's a very wide-ranging theme, but it really taps into sort of school, college, mysteries, literature, learning, a whole bunch of things. And there's actually an article in the magazine about dark academia. The content that you get with the bonus edition of the Tangezine is this. It is a book. It's 85 pages. It is a prompt guide. And what I've done is taken 18 art styles. So you can see on the front page here, these are all different art styles that I've used in Midjourney. And I go into each art style in depth. So we'll just take the first one, for example. I used Art Brut, and that has several prompts that you can use and shows you some images you can make with the Art Brut style. Not only that, I've also included some suggestions for other pictures that you might want to do outside of the dark academia genre. And I've included a bunch of example pictures that you can make in that style. And I've done the same with several other styles. You can see I've created lots of different pictures here. So I can give you just a few examples here of kind of images that you can make. I love this one. This is such a cool style right here. And you can see they're very varied. Like I've really tried to get different styles of image and capture different feelings. And you can use these images. You can take my images. I don't mind if you take my images. I don't really recommend it. I recommend generating your own. But you can take my prompts and you can create your own images like these using my prompts. And what you can do is turn those into anything you can imagine. T-shirt designs, tote bags, wallpaper, bookmarks, digital wallpaper, postcards, like anything you can think of. Wall art, posters, prints. You can use these prompts to make images like this and sell them. There is nothing to stop you selling these on whatever platform you like. You can use them to make insert pages in your planners, in your books. You can use them for book covers. Like there are so many things you can do with these. So I'm just showing you some of the different styles that are in this book. Like you can use this to create any of these styles and create art in any of these styles. You can have results pretty much exactly like these. I mean, the pictures will be a little bit different, but you can capture these same styles using the prompts I give you in this book. So that's the first bonus that comes with the bundle. Let me show you the second one, which is this, our 2024 resolution directory. Now, let me tell you a little bit about how I came up with this. So first I started out doing some research into New Year's resolutions. I wanted to get the most popular New Year's resolutions, and I compiled a list of over 200 of them. And then what I did was I put those resolutions into these categories. So between these categories, there are more than 200 resolutions. I think it's more like 220. And for each resolution, I generated a book concept, how you could turn that New Year's resolution into a low or medium content book. And for each book concept, I worked with AI to generate an example book. So it has a title, it has a plan with the content you could put in that book, and it just gives you a whole concept for a book. So really what you're getting here is over 200 low content or medium content book ideas that you can use. And what I recommend doing with these, so if we take an example, we'll go to health. And you can see here we've got the resolutions down here. So what you can do is pick one of these resolutions, like take up a martial arts class. And it tells you what kind of book you could create for that. So a martial arts planner. And then it gives you an example book title, Kickstart Your Martial Arts Journey. So if we click on that, what it now gives you, and so this is what you can use if you're deciding whether you want to create a martial arts book. It gives you a bunch of keywords. It gives you some search volumes on those. It gives you sub-niches. So if you want to get specific with that and choose a particular type of martial arts like Krav Maga or Jiu-Jitsu, you can make your book for that. It even gives you related resolutions, so you can look at things that are related to that. And then it gives you your book concept. So it has a book concept, a target audience, gives you a structure for the book. It gives you some ideas for what you could put on pages in that book, milestone achievement, reflections, diet and nutrition, flexibility routine. Gives you a whole bunch of ideas. And that's just one book. So you can see this is like a really valuable tool for just getting an idea for a book. And what I particularly love about this, if you have our book creator GPT, which is absolutely free, so if you don't have it, you can go and grab it. You do need a ChatGPT Plus account to use GPTs at present. But if you have that, this is absolutely free. So we could take this idea, this martial arts book, and what we could say is copy that, go to ChatGPT and open up the book creator GPT. And I can say, help me develop this book concept. And what I can do is paste this in, take up martial arts planner, and I'm going to say medium content book concept. And then I'm going to enter that. And hopefully it's going to give me some ideas. Great. So the book creator is going to work through that, give me more ideas of how I can develop this book. And using the book creator, you can generate marketing reports. You can do a customer audience analysis. Like there's so many things you can do with the book creator. You can do mock-ups. It can mock up a cover picture for you. It can mock up interior pages for you. So if you use this resolution directory that comes with the bonus bundle edition of the Tangezine, you can absolutely use these ideas with my book creator GPT to develop your book in depth and generate content for your book. So you really have a like all-in-one product for coming up with an idea for a low content book, generating content for it, and then of course going into tangent templates to design and finish the book in there. You really have a whole package here. So that's the second part of the bundle. So the first part was the Dark Academia prompt guide. The second part is the resolution directory. And then the third thing you get with the bundle is a collection of clip art. And there are actually two collections in this. The first is black and white images. So let me show you those. I'm going to actually make those bigger here so you can just quickly browse through those. So you can see I have all these pretty hearts, and I think there's 80 of these. Yeah, there's 80 heart images, and these are absolutely gorgeous. If you look at them, they're really beautiful images. So you can use these as illustrations in your book. You can color them, like you can do anything you like with them really. You can include them in your printables and in your KDP books. The only thing we ask that you don't do with these is resell them as clip art, because that's not really cool. These are something for people who've bought this bundle. So we do ask that you don't resell those as clip art. But other than that, you're pretty much licensed to use these in your printables and in your books. And you can use them on other print-on-demand products if you want as well. You can put them on bags or mugs or stickers or anything you think of like that. So these are really, really cool. These are the hearts that we give you. So black and white hearts that you can use in all your products however you like. And we also have a collection of color clip art. So we have these cool hearts. A lot of hearts. There's some other pretty images in here, romantic images. So there's also some teddy bears if we scroll all the way down, and some lovebirds, rainbows, geographical landmarks. Here are the teddy bears. I love these teddies. They're so cute. You could put this in a little printable, on a calendar page. You could put it on a card, like all kinds of things you can do with these. So these are just some clip art for you to use in your projects however you like. So again, just don't resell them as clip art. You can use them on any printable in your books or on any other print-on-demand product. So those are all included in the $20 bundle. You get the magazine, you get the TT file, you get the resolution directory, which is here, and you get the dark academia prompt guide for Midjourney, and you get all that clip art. So it's a great bundle. I've tried to make it very, very valuable. I think it's worth well more than $20. If you can generate one great idea using either the art styles, the resolution directory, or the clip art, I'm sure you can make more than $20. So I think it's a very valuable bundle. I hope that you enjoy using that. So let's go back to the magazine and go a little bit more in depth with what is in the magazine. So now we're looking at the contents. Let's move on from there and take a look at February inspiration. So I like to include one of these in every issue of the magazine. I think it's really fun to have an inspiration list. And what you can do with this is really anything you want. You can read through them, maybe meditate on one of them. Like, I love things like Rain's Rhythm, a dance of concepts. Like, what does that make you think about? I mean, you could literally go across to Midjourney and copy something like this. Now, I don't know if I recommend prompting that way, but you could definitely do like Rain's Rhythm, a dance of concepts. Maybe springtime image with flowers. And we'll make that 3:4 aspect ratio, so it would work well for a book. So let's take a look and see what it gives to us. Wow. Okay, so we just took that inspiration and used it as a prompt, embellished it a little bit, and look at this picture. I love this picture, the third one. That's a pretty fabulous picture. These inspirations, they're not really designed to be prompts, but you could use them as prompts. You could also use them for concepts for a book. Like, I love this sort of misty mornings, veiled artistic allure. Like, what about maybe thinking about it conceptually, like coming out of the mist with your artistic skills, and you could have this beautiful like misty cover on your book and like have these little glimpses. I mean, there you go. You could structure your book, have maybe 12 art tutorials and call them glimpses. And between each tutorial, you could have like pictures of clouds and mists. Like, I'm just brainstorming off the top of my head. But I kind of like calling your lessons glimpses, like glimpse number 1 through the clouds. And then you give people like an artistic or a writing project that they could do. So I use these as a kind of poetic way to start brainstorming. And they could lead to anything, an artistic concept, a creative concept, a product, maybe some writing. Use them as a writing prompt. If you need to get out of your head, you want to write some poetry or a story, use them as a prompt for that. But they're really prompts for you to do whatever you want with, whether you're using them with AI or to just use them for your own creativity. So then we have the niche hunts. So the first one is Valentine's Day. So we have a Valentine and romance niche hunt. And again, these are really to inspire you however you want. So for example, I see the word boudoir, and that makes me think now that boudoir photography is very popular. So if you're thinking big concepts, I don't know, maybe you could offer boudoir AI pictures for people and use face swap to put people's faces into beautiful boudoir pictures. That could be a service you could offer. You could also take boudoir as a book prompt and make a low-content book where people write their boudoir secrets. That would be pretty fun. And maybe have boudoir tips like, I don't know, Marilyn Monroe's glamour tips, and have little articles like that about people who have very glamorous boudoir existences. Like, that could be a very fun thing to do. I see words like heartfelt affirmations. I see there. I see heart-shaped. Like maybe that could inspire you for whatever you do. Create something heart-shaped. Twin flame. I see that up at the top there. And twin flame's a really interesting one. I'm not sure whether I believe in things like this, but I know twin flames right now are a very popular idea, that you have soulmates who are people that complement you, and then you have twin flames who are people who kind of share your soul, so you're like the same person in two bodies. And that's a really popular concept at the moment. So, I mean, maybe you could have a twin flame book where you write with your twin flame, or you have activities that build the relationship between you and your twin flame. And of course, you can use ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, what is a twin flame? In fact, let's do it. Let's ask ChatGPT. What is a twin flame? Suggest 10 low-content book ideas about the concept of twin flames. So there we go. A twin flame, spiritual concept, unique soul connection. And here we go. A twin flame journal, quotes and reflections, coloring book, twin flame affirmation cards, and so on. And of course, you can ask it to get more creative. If these are kind of standard ideas, you can get way more creative with ChatGPT. You can ask it specifically for maybe a planner that the two of you can do. You could ask it to gamify these ideas and add game concepts to it. So you can push further with ChatGPT. You don't have to take its first answer. You can say, get more creative. But I mean, some of these are cool. Twin flame tarot spreads. That's a unique idea, or story starters. So you can take those ideas and ask ChatGPT to develop them further. So that's the Valentine niche hunt. And I've also given you the colors I used for that, and also the fonts. You can click these and go and download these fonts. So if you like the fonts that I've used there, or the styles, you can grab those. So then we also have useful dates. These are good things to keep in mind if you're developing books, especially maybe looking a little later in the calendar here towards April. Got April Fool's Day coming up, World Autism Awareness Day, Earth Day. And actually, if you're into Earth Day, I've got a lot of content from last year on my Gumroad for Earth Day. So maybe take a look at that as well. Okay, so the next article in the magazine is Would You Rather? So I think we've actually touched on Would You Rather before in a previous course that I did, but I love this as a game. I think Would You Rather is such a fun conversation starter. It's basically this or that. And I got inspired because on Facebook, there was this whole meme about whether you'd rather be trapped in a mall with 5 angry snakes or 1 angry silverback gorilla. I mean, I'm like, I would take the gorilla. I would 100% be trapped in a mall with a gorilla because I don't like snakes. And I think they were black mambas as well. They were like scary snakes. So I think I would take my chances chatting to the gorilla. But what's fun about Would You Rather questions is they really prompt your creativity. Maybe you can come up with a solution to this. Like one of the solutions I saw people have was, how about I just turn up the air conditioning and make it cold so the snakes go to sleep? Brilliant. That's like a great puzzle solving there as well. And what's nice about Would You Rather is that you can customize this and turn this into a game book. So you can have like, which celebrity would you date? What superpower would you choose? And there are a lot of actual games selling that have this concept. So Trial by Trolley is probably one of the most popular, and it's a card game, and it gives you different situations of who's lying on 2 tracks of a trolley, and you decide which one you would run over. So some of them are easy. It's like, oh no, you don't want to sort of like run over the busload of orphans, but then you have like dictators and super evil people and people in between. So it's kind of a dark game, but it plays with this concept of Would You Rather. It's like, who would you save if there was an out of control trolley? And what's great, I mean, I give you the idea there. You can use ChatGPT to generate ideas for Would You Rather. Once you've come up with a concept for your Would You Rather book, like maybe you have a superpower book where kids can decide which superpower they want, which is a great writing prompt for kids. Once you've come up with the idea for your book, you can ask ChatGPT to generate more prompts and pages for the book. And what I've done here is I've given you 50 examples of different Would You Rather concepts that you could play with. So, I mean, you can have chef, like who would you rather cook a meal for? And then an example is, would you rather cook it for a celebrity or a royal family? So that's kind of a fun book concept. Who would you cook for? And what would you cook? Now that kind of gets your cooking creativity going. It's kind of an interesting way to do a recipe book. Mind mastery. I mean, that would be kind of fun for working on mind skills. Like, would you rather be able to read minds or have the perfect memory? I think a better one would be, would you rather read minds or have a perfect poker face? That would be kind of a fun one. And then maybe on another one you could have, would you rather have a perfect memory or would you rather have the ability to forget things very quickly? Like, you can really play with these and create a whole book from these, especially if you brainstorm with ChatGPT. So this is Would You Rather with 50 book concept ideas that you could play with on that topic. And then we have another niche hunt. I love this. This is a Black History Month niche hunt because February is Black History Month. And there's some really cool ideas in this. So for example, I think Afrofuturism is a great niche. And Afrofuturism is a movement in literature, music or art featuring futuristic or sci-fi themes which incorporate elements of Black history and culture. So for example, the movie Black Panther would be an example perhaps of Afrofuturism. And again, you can ask ChatGPT, great Afrofuturistic prompts for AI art. And it gave me a whole bunch of them here that are fabulous. I mean, a futuristic African cityscape where traditional mud brick architecture blends seamlessly with sleek solar-powered skyscrapers. Wow, I love this one. A portrait of a futuristic African queen. Her attire embellished with glowing symbols and circuitry. Her throne room adorned with... This isn't just amazing. I'm just going to take this straight over to Midjourney and paste this in. In fact, I'm going to just simplify it a little bit. I'm going to just bring it down to her throne room adorned with holographic ancestral spirits. And I'm just going to make that book size there. And let's take a look at what it generates for us. And that looks pretty stunning. I really, really like these images. So you can take these concepts and use ChatGPT or Midjourney to develop any of them further. And there's a lot more ideas here, like there's soul food. You could create a soul food recipe book. There's a dance hall as an idea. And no, I think having dance hall pictures in a planner would be really, really cool. I see there's historical things in there, like the Underground Railroad and a lot of history in there that you could draw on to create books. Especially for things like teachers pay teachers, you could create educational content. So there's a lot of things to pull from here as well. There you go, that's the Black History Month niche hunt. Then I have an article about dark academia, and I think this is really fun. There's some examples here of books you could create in the dark academia realm. And I think what's nice, dark academia really celebrates things like literature and classics. And I think for people who kind of have slightly nerdy librarian tendencies, which I kind of do sometimes, you can really tap into that and enjoy that whole sense of, you know, it's like the smell of an old book. That's such a dark academia thing. And I think Etsy is full of interesting concepts like this. Like I see Victorian era letter writing sets. Doesn't that sound like something that you could sell on Etsy? Like traditional Victorian letter writing kits with ink and templates and, I don't know, paper, printed paper and things like that. You could create physical products. You could create digital products with this. Classical music appreciation guides. Oh my gosh, I love that one. Language learning logs, especially for the classics like Latin and Greek. And then I've given you a whole bunch. There's 2 pages of keywords here with their search volumes. And these search volumes are from Google because that's the most reliable and accurate way to get search volumes for you. So these are Google search volumes. But what I found is that a high Google search volume indicates a high Amazon search volume. Remember, a lot of people actually find Amazon products from Google. They Google and Amazon pages show up. And also, if people are searching Google, they're going to be searching Amazon because these sites are just representing mainstream searches. So there's loads and loads of ideas here. And you could use these for anything. I mean, I see things like fireplaces and I'm like, okay, well, you could have fireplace ornaments. You could combine these like fireplaces and gargoyles. Who doesn't want to put a gargoyle on their fireplace? You could also make colouring books with fireplaces or gargoyles. Those would work great. You could have projects, create a gargoyle. You can build on any of these ideas. I mean, things like pocket watches. That's such a fun thing to play with. You could create pocket watch clip art and sell it on Etsy. So tons and tons of ideas here. Like cryptic messages. People love making those kind of puzzles for escape rooms, either physical escape rooms or people are creating like escape rooms in a box with printed content. Or you can make a digital escape room. Like there's a lot of ways to do this. You can make a printable that has puzzles for an escape room. Like remember those choose your own adventure books? Like there's so many directions you can go with this. So have fun with all of these keywords and niches. A lot of them are niches themselves. Foggy moons. I mean, that's so evocative. You could use that to make all kinds of clip art. I bet if I go and put foggy moons in Midjourney, it'll create some beautiful, mysterious pictures for me. So I think these are really fun keywords. I hope you have a lot of fun with those. So now let's move on, and I'm going to show you one of my secret systems, which is dual mind mapping. And I actually learned this when I was dabbling in stand-up comedy many years ago. And I'm not sure about stand-up. I say dabbling for a reason, because stand-up's scary, guys. It's really scary to do stand-up, but it's also kind of fun, and it's quite fun to write jokes. So I use dual mind mapping as a method to write jokes for stand-up comedy. You can also use this concept to generate funny slogans for things like mugs. Like you can see here, I've got, I forgot about everything but you. Affogato. Yeah, you get it. I forgot about everything but you. Yeah. You get it. But for tote bags, for t-shirts, for hoodies, like you can create funny jokes for anything with this method. But it's not only for jokes. You can use this for any kind of creative brainstorming. So if you've got a book concept and you're trying to come up with content for it, or if you're trying to make a course, for example, and you're trying to generate ideas for what to include in your course, or maybe you've got a serious book where you're trying to teach people something, or you're trying to put in quizzes, you can use dual mind maps for all kinds of purposes. So I'm going to walk through this and show you how it works. So here's an example that I have in here of how to write jokes using dual mind maps. So what you do is you create two mind maps and you decide two topics that you'd like to write jokes about. Because here's the thing, most creativity is juxtaposition. It's putting two things together. So it's like when you have Disney princesses on ice. Disney princesses aren't very creative. Being on ice isn't very creative. But when you put together Disney princesses and ice skating, now you have this whole new genre. And so a lot of creativity is really about taking two things and finding interesting ways to squish them together. So dual mind mapping is a great way to tap into that. So I did one mind map that has Valentine's Day. And what you do is you just go around the mind map and you write down as many interesting things you can think of about Valentine's Day. So I did some quotes like love is in the air, you had me at hello. Then I had the Galentine's Day concept, which is if you're single and you just want to party and kind of forget about like men or boys or hanging out with the opposite sex, you could enjoy Galentine's Day. So I came up with some words for that. I brainstormed some gifts that are popular for Valentine's Day and so on. So I kind of came up with these ideas around the topic of Valentine's Day. And because I was thinking about mugs, I also put another mind map for coffee. And I wrote down all the fun things I could think of about coffee. And then what you do is you compare these two mind maps together and see what you notice. And I mean, there's actually a lot of things that kind of jump out immediately, like steam, and you think of steamy, and it's like, I'm going to have a steamy romance. And then you could have a cup of coffee that's steaming. You have, I know, I thought of Galentines, and I thought of like the big cups of coffee. I think I put venti on there somewhere. And I was thinking of like big, oh, maybe I didn't write it down, but I was thinking about like venti cups of coffee and how they could be really big. So I came up with like Galentine's Day. So it's great for puns. And you have things like frothing, foaming, endless love, endless latte, a pick-me-up, because I was thinking about sort of excitement and jitters and coffee picking you up, and it was like a pick-me-up, not a pickup, and from bar to barista and so on. So you can come up with these ideas by sort of squishing the two mind maps together, comparing them against each other and looking for connections. Where are there connections? I mean, early morning is connected to coffee. Can early morning connect to Valentine's Day and romance? I mean, the coffee breath in the morning, like that's kind of a fun thing to play with. It'd be like, I love my partner, but I don't love his coffee breath. And now you have like a book of, 50 things that bug you about your partner, but you love them anyway. I mean, you can play with these concepts to make a silly book, a fun book, a more intense book. So this is dual mind mapping, and you can go further with it because you can break it down further to come up with even more ideas and map them further. But this is such a good way to brainstorm, because often when you brainstorm and you're just writing lists, it's like you just end up with a list of stuff. If you have two mind maps, you can like merge them together and look for ideas, which is really, really cool. So I'll show you a secret trick actually. What you can do is actually screenshot these. And if you're making your own mind maps, I mean, I'm just using mine as a quick example here. But if you're using your own mind maps that you've written, you can take a picture of them and you can do this with them. So what you can do is actually paste these images, these mind maps, into ChatGPT, and you can ask it to help you. So you can say, look for funny or interesting connections between these two mind maps. I'd like to write jokes that juxtapose the two topics together. Please write me a list of connections that you spot and suggest some funny ideas from those connections. And here it goes. So it took it a moment to read them, but you can see it's finding connections between these. So it's got espresso and steamy nights. Why is espresso like a steamy date? They both keep you up all night. Latte art and love stories. So this is writing jokes, but you could ask it to come up with book ideas. You could ask it to come up with slogans. You could ask it to come up with maybe an art project or a craft project, a course, something you could sell, a product. So this is a really fun way to generate ideas. So you can literally give ChatGPT your mind maps. Just take a picture of them if you're making them yourself, and then ask it to find connections and to generate the content that you want from those. So this is a really creative way to use ChatGPT. So then I've given you a few more ideas of how you can use dual mind maps. So for example, I've given you this idea here for a garden planner. So what you could do is in mind map 1, you could have your gardening goals. So what kind of plants do you want to have in your garden? What features is the garden going to have? Is it going to have a deck? What's your time frame? What's your budget? Basically all the facts and all the specifics and technicalities of the project. And then in map 2, you could talk about themes. Like you could have a sort of vision board. Like what themes do you want? What vibes? Kind of places in the world do you want to capture with your garden? What kind of color palettes? And that could be your sort of creative mind map. So you have your technical mind map, your creative one, and then you can bring those together and compare those. And that would be an amazing piece of content to put in a gardening planner. So that's one idea with dual mind maps. I've put another one here, spirituality against life goals. So you can have your life goals, like what you want to achieve in the year financially, for your family, whether you want to get a new career. And then on the second map, you could put things like, what kind of emotions do you want to experience? Do you want to feel? Spiritually, what are you aiming for? And then you can combine these two ideas to create a holistic and practical plan for the year that covers both sides of your personality, the spiritual side and the practical. And you've got stress versus mindfulness. So I think this is a fun idea. You could take things that cause you stress and things that you can do that reduce your stress, like deep breathing, talking, or using certain mindfulness tactics like CBT to reframe the stress. So you could make a list of things that work for stress and things that cause you stress, and then come up with a plan of action to deal with specific stress triggers. And a family activity planner, that's another idea. So you could have a mind map for your family with their interests, and then a second one with activities that everyone can do. And then you can look for how those connect together. And again, you can use ChatGPT to help you brainstorm ideas for dual mind maps, or come up with ways to use those mind maps and to join them together. So another really creative sort of project idea here, and something that works really well for me when I'm brainstorming, is to create two mind maps to give you two different perspectives on a problem and then bring them together so you can. So then we have our third niche hunt, which is on the topic of St. Patrick's Day. And I think St. Patrick's Day is a really fun thing you can create. Things like recipe books, you can have books about sort of traditions, folklore, leprechauns, great for educational content. You can really play with that for things for children. You can have colouring pictures. So St. Patrick's Day, there you go, there's a colour palette there for it, fonts that I thought were really cute, and just something to get you inspired if you're trying to come up with content for some. And then here you've got a list of spring aesthetics. So these are just different visual styles that you can draw on if you're creating anything. If you're creating t-shirts, if you're creating book covers, whatever it is that you're coming up with ideas for, you can use these ideas. And some of these would be great keywords in Midjourney. You can go and put boho blossom in Midjourney, and you know that's going to come up with some pretty pictures. You can use Zen serenity. That's a great aesthetic right there. Like Japanese Zen gardens, tranquility, balance, like. This will hopefully help you sort of maybe generate some ideas in your head of images that you can use in your books. Like these would be great concepts for a planner, like a Zen planner. And you have your months with your dates. And then on the other side, you have like Zen pictures to help you stay calm and focused. Like these are just concepts that you can use in anything that you're creating. And there's some more here. Garden party glam. In fact, I use garden party glam as the background picture for this. There's some ladies in fabulous dresses drinking tea and being wonderful. Scandinavian simplicity, that's another good one as well. So you can draw from those to just come up with new visual ideas for your products, for your social media, or for just to come up with a theme for anything you're creating. Then I've got a fun article about P.T. Barnum. I really love this story about him. I'll let you read it. I'm not going to spoil it for you. You can read it in the magazine. But it's a really fun story about the power of curiosity and kind of how he was an early guerrilla marketer. And I've given you some ideas for how you can use his ideas of laying bricks, because you can lay your own digital bricks. It'll make sense when you read the magazine. I'm sure you'll have some fun with that. And then also I've given you 15 prompts for ChatGPT that will help you develop some content very quickly or give you ideas for content. So like Springo, generate a list of items for a springtime bingo card. That would make a great printable, super easy to come up with those ideas in ChatGPT, turn them into images in Midjourney, and you've got a printable product you can sell on multiple sites. So lots of ideas there. And then I have Midjourney Prompts. So there's a whole bunch of different styles here that you can achieve using these prompts. If you copy these prompts into Midjourney, it will give you very similar images to mine. And of course, you can tweak those prompts. You can change them up. You can make them look however you want, add your own details to them. Like I love these heart-shaped gates. You can, of course, change these. Or you could take the idea and have, I don't know, heart-shaped rocks, heart-shaped flowers, heart-shaped parks or mansions, heart-shaped cityscapes. So you can take these ideas and adapt them any way you like. So there's lots of images here. And then lastly, I've got some links to the new GPTs we made recently. So I think I have a video on the Book Creator GPT. I don't have a video yet on the Magic Calendar, but I will do that. If you haven't checked out my Magic Calendar GPT, please do. These are both free tools that you can use in ChatGPT, and they are awesome. They have a lot of content in them. I briefly showed you the Book Creator earlier, but the Magic Calendar has so much content in it. It gives you content for each month of the year. It gives you a list of holidays for each month of the year. It gives you mood and consumer reports. So it tells you what people are thinking about each month. So you can really generate ideas for products, for books, anything you can think of, marketing campaigns, because it tells you all about what people are going through each month. You know, one of my favorite tools of all time was Google Correlate, and I was so heartbroken when they discontinued it. But this is kind of my attempt at getting some of the content that's very similar to Correlate. Like, what are people thinking about at different times of the year? Where are their brains at? What do they want? What do they need? What problems are they dealing with? Magic Calendar really gives you an insight into that and helps you come up with ways to tackle those problems, to solve those problems. So this tells you a little bit about Magic Calendar, all the things it does. It'll even generate like a social media marketing campaign for you. It's huge and it's free. I keep giving these things away free. Why? I don't know. I like giving you guys stuff. I'm always like playing with things and coming up with ideas, and I like to put those out there. So there we go. There's Magic Calendar and there's Book Creator. And then this is a list about the things that are in the bonus edition of the Tangezine. So again, the resolution directory. And a few people did say, is it too late for New Year's resolutions? And I think the key with the resolution directory is that it's not just for New Year's. I use that as a starting point. But really, New Year resolutions are about things that people worry about all year round. People want to know how to lose weight, how to work out, how to make friends, start a new hobby. Like, these are all evergreen concepts, really. So I just use New Year's resolutions to kind of get the list in order and build from there. But the books you can make are absolutely evergreen books. So there's the resolution directory, art styles for dark academia, and then all the clip art, and it tells you a little bit about those. Then there's a little promotion for tangent templates with a promo code and some information about Imagine, some amazing testimonials we've had for the Imagine course, and that is the Tangezine. Now, the last thing I want to show you is I want to go to Tangent Templates and show you the TT file. So to use the TT file, what you need to do is go to Tangent Templates. If you don't have Tangent Templates, you can get it from templates.tangent.rocks. And I'm going to go to the Tangent Designer and start a project here. So Interior Pages, start my project. And this is what the Interior Designer looks like. If you want to make the artboard a little bit bigger, you just go to Zoom Artboard here and you can make it a little bit bigger there. And what I'm going to do is go TT File, and I'm going to say Import. I put my TT file there on the desktop. So here is my TT file. It is imported into Tangent Templates. So what I've done, I've given you some mind maps. So here, for example, is a joke writer's toolkit. You can, of course, change this up. So I've put coffee and dogs. You can make this about, I don't know, flowers and a romance, or whatever topic it is that you want to do. You can, of course, edit anything here. So you can change the colors. We can change the colors up on these, change the background, of course. You can change all the text. If you want to make that curved, you can make the corners curvy like that, so it looks different. So you have the power to really edit these however you want. Same here. Here's another dual mind mapping template. Here's one that's got more filled out and how you could actually use this in a book. So I did dual mind mapping, create a personalized plan of action for dealing with stress. So if you'll remember, this is actually something that was in the article in the magazine of stress triggers and coping tactics. This is how you could literally put that concept into a low content book. So if you have a mindfulness book, you could use this as a page in that book. And then I've got some would you rather templates here. I've got a black and white one and a color one. And of course you can change this to be a black and white one. Just change the background here. So you could change that and give it a different color. You can change the text. If you don't like that color, you can choose a color from somewhere else, or you can click it and edit the color there. So there you go. That's how you can edit these templates. There's quite a few here. Here's a page with lines, like a notebook with a coloring image behind. Of course, you can delete that image. You can put in your own images. There's another one here. There's a sketching page. And again, I just took a coloring page and put a blank space over that. So you can put any background you want on there. There's this one here. Beautiful conversations. You can make this a nice printable, and each time you have a nice conversation, you could write down what the conversation was in one of the hearts. And that image is actually from one of the prompts in the Dark Academia book as well, as is this one here. I did like a notebook cover page or a copyright page here. These are all prompts you can get either from the prompts in the magazine or from the Dark Academia. There's a quotes page here, which again, kind of has a Dark Academia theme. It's got a little colouring picture that I made in Midjourney. And then this is where you can make a note of a quote that you particularly love in a book or a story. And you can write about it here. So this would make a book on its own, a quote book where you just have pages for people to write down any favourite quotes they have. So that's the TT file. It has all of these templates for you to play with, change up as you want. I mean, if you want to change the color on all of these, you can just select it all, and then of course you can go to the color here and change this up to give it pretty much any color you want there. So you can see how you can change all of those shapes in one go there. And you can do the same with the lines as well. If you want to change the lines and give them a different color, you can make them red. So you can have a lot of fun with this, change these, edit them, use them for whatever you want, and use my ideas from the Tangezine to create some dual mind maps, because I think those are really, really fun to add to your books. And you've got the blank one there, and then you've got an example one there. So there it is. That is the Tangezine. As I say, you can go and get it from my Gumroad, which is catherine.gumroad.com. The 2 editions are here. There's the free edition there, which is the magazine and the TT file with all those templates. And you have the bonus bundle edition, which comes with the resolution directory there with over 200 book ideas that you can paste into the book creator. It comes with the Dark Academia Midjourney guide, and it comes with all that clip art, the hearts and the teddy bears and the other images that are in the clip art. So I think it's an amazing bundle. You can grab them both from catherine.gumroad.com. The free one is free if you're, or pay what you want. If you want it free, you just put a 0 there in the box. So I hope this is really helpful to you. I'd love to hear what you think about the magazine. It's getting great reviews so far. Everyone seems to be really enjoying reading through it, getting the extras, playing with the resolution directory and all of the fun things that are in there. I hope you will have a good time with the magazine too. Do let me know your feedback. Come and join us in our Facebook groups if you're not there already. And do like and subscribe this channel if you want more content from me. I have a lot planned this year. I've been a little bit quiet. This last month has been a lot of ups and downs since Christmas. But I'm here and I have a lot of things planned. Isaac's working on a lot of things and we hope to bring those to you as soon as we can. All right, guys, have a good one and thank you so much for watching. Bye.